long last, after 80 episodes of boring and absolute nothingness, I am finally watching a season that gives me a lot of new things to talk about. Too bad this one is one of the worst seasons in the show's history. For those who don't know, Season 12 is actually a hybrid season. It still uses the real-life models from the past 24 years, but they started incorporating CGI animation into the live-action footage. More noticeably, they animated the engine's faces to give them more expressions and lip-syncing. They got rid of the little figurines for people, like the Fat Controller, and they are replaced entirely with CGI animated models. Oh yeah, and Harold the Helicopter is fully CG animated as well. For some reason. I guess there was just no easy way to put a motion capture target on Harold's model. When I first saw this hybrid animation in that one clip of Heave-Ho Thomas back in 2009, it almost blew my mind that the team would come to this decision, not only keeping the iconic models, but they are using CGI to try and enhance them. And for the most part, Nitrogen Studios did a really good job with the CGI here. The face recreations are not too bad. They did a great job blending the human characters into the model sets, and the motion capture is handled really well. But I did say, for the most part, some of the face designs aren't very good. I don't like the waistcoat outlining on characters like the Fat Controller. There are some moments when the motion capture makes the faces crooked, and some of the expressions are unintentional nightmare fuel. But the biggest problem with the CGI this season is how inconsistent it is. Half of each episode will feature the CGI faces, but then the rest of the time they just go back to using the clay faces. I heard that some of the scenes they had filmed made it hard to animate the faces in, like shots where the faces were too tiny, or there was just too much stuff getting in the way of the face, like steam, snow, trucks, etc. But what's your excuse on this shot? Or this one? Or this one? Or this one? Either animate the faces with CGI, or don't. Going back and forth like this just strains the filming crew, and it shows how uncertain you are with this huge change. Another problem I have with this season is the way the episodes are narrated. In both the UK and the US dubs, they asked Michael Angelis and Michael Brandon to voice all the characters. Well, actually, Pierce Brosnan, the narrator of the previously released special, The Great Discovery, was originally supposed to return to narrate Season 12, and Nitrogen Studios animated the lips to sync in with Brosnan's performances.
Whew, I'm sorry I'm late. I took a shortcut, but I got lost. Huh, I never get lost. I know the railway better than any other engine.
But then later on, they suddenly decided to cut out Brosnan's narrations, and they brought Angelis and Brandon back. But the animation had already been completed, so they had to try and match their own narrations to the animation in an improvised sort of way.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I took a shortcut, but I got lost. Huh, I never get lost. I know the railway better than any other engine.
Because of this, some of Angelis's voices and line deliveries sound really off.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time to help you. I have to collect the fireman. He's a hero. No, thank you. I can pull these trucks on my own. I'm stronger than you. But I brought the Funfair special all on my own, sir. I wanted to help Emily. You haven't helped anyone. You have caused confusion and delay.
Yeah, this should have been the season where they gave different individual voice actors for the characters. That would have sounded much better than this improvising. I know there are like millions of characters in this season, and finding voices for all of them might not have been easy. I mean, I don't even think Keith Wickham and Teresa Gallagher are that good, but it would have been better than this.
You have caused confusion and delay.
Another advantage the model faces had was that the narrators could tell the stories at their own pace. There was no need for Angelus to talk as quickly as possible, especially for someone his age at the time. And there are some scenes in the season where there are just long stretches of nothing. If you take out the narration entirely, we just see the engines thinking and looking around in real time. It looks awkward. They didn't even add in an echo effect or something when we hear the characters speaking in thought. It makes us think that the animators forgot to move their mouths or something. As for the episodes themselves, they are written the same way as most Season 10 and 11 episodes. The characters have been butchered horribly, like in Steady Eddie, Toby's Special Surprise, and even the Party Surprise with Freddy. 8 out of the 20 episodes are focused on Thomas, with hardly any focus on the other Steam Team engines. And every single one of these 20 episodes uses the 3 strikes formula to make them reach up to 7 minutes. There are a couple of episodes this season that focus on secondary characters, like Murdoch and Hector have lead roles in James Works It Out and Excellent Emily respectively, and hell, one of the episodes has Rosie as the lead character. They even brought back a lot of forgotten characters, like Doc, Donald, Douglas, Murdoch, Arthur, Oliver, Toad, Trevor, Jack, Alfie, and even Stepney. Frickin' Stepney! But only to be used for one of 3 things, if not all 3. 1. Filler characters to fill in the background. 2. They exist just to say a couple of lines of dialogue that don't really matter. Or 3. To be used as a send-off tribute to the models. Seriously, after this season, the show will switch over to using fully CGI animation, and the models will be stored away on display, either at Nitrogen Studios themselves, Horror Model Railway Museum in Japan, or carelessly letting your childhood rot away since 2009. Shockingly, there aren't any songs made exclusively for Season 12. It's probably because this season was already expensive enough as it is, with the hybrid animation and all. What the wiki classifies as Season 12 songs are the engine roll call, which is just adding CGI faces to the footage of the already existing roll call song, and the Children in Need song with Peter Kay as Big Chris. Come on. That's nowhere close to being canon. That's pretty much all I can say. I'm not really as frustrated with this season as seasons 9 to 11, because at the very least the CGI animation made it much more interesting and memorable. But this was a really bad note overall to end the entire model series on. Every episode uses the exact same repetitive formula. The characters are dumbasses. They brought back all of these old characters just to be used as background filler. The sets are the blandest and emptiest in the entire series, and this has some of the worst narration in the entire show, honestly. But good news, everyone. We are now halfway through this entire series, and at least tomorrow we will be heading into a brand new era. And I welcome it.